What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the Phantom Rider. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at the Phantom Rider. Let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, continuing the Executioner Build-A-Figure wave. There's your figure, some extra hands, you've got some pistols, Build-A-Figure piece, Marvel logos all around, flip it to the side. There's a good image of the Phantom himself, Marvel Legends at the bottom, flip it to the back, a nice expanded image there. There's your wave, important information at the bottom. There's your blurb. Schoolteacher Carter dons a ghostly white costume to met out justice as the Phantom Rider, spirit of vengeance in the Old West. Flip it to this side, you get another image at the bottom, Phantom Rider there, Legends at the top. One last look, let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box, we've got a new character here in Phantom Rider, so I love that for Marvel Legends collecting. A basic figure by design, so we can't take too much out of that. It probably could use a little bit accessory-wise, but we do get the extra hands. We've got those pistols. I like that. The inclusion there, there's at least paint on those, so that is a nice touch. We're missing maybe, I don't know, a minor piece. You may say a horse. Let's take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a good look here. Now again, this is a simple figure by design, so there's not a whole lot that really needs to go into it. Maybe you could have added some shading to give it a little more depth, but I personally am fine with the aesthetic as is. Maybe some minor tweaks like adding spurs to the boots. That would have been a nice little touch, but all in all, I mean, I feel like it grabs the idea, right? The representation is 100% there. Moving through the figure, you do get the gloves, which you can see there. That does give a layer. You do have the belt with the holsters. Belt does have buckles. Belt does have the buckle painted and some additional paint on there as well. Of course, you do get the boots down here. Head sculpt. Again, not a whole lot that has to go into this, but adding the pearlescent white in the eye gives it a little bit of a breakup from the rest of the white, and of course, adding the dark paint around to really accentuate does help give a little depth and extra life to what would otherwise be a very plain head sculpt. Hat does look pretty good for what it is. And then, of course, you have the cape, all white cape, a little bit of texture on the back there. For your hands, you do get a set of trigger fingers, which are the most important set of hands in this set. You do get a set of fists, and then you get one extra to just give you an odd number of hands with the open hand. I like the options for the hands. I kind of like pairs, but I think that's okay. I got enough of these white hands to dig through and figure it out. And as I said, the trigger fingers are the important ones here anyway. It does come with the two pistols. They are going to be the same revolver style. You can see the paint on the handle there. Just gives it a little bit of extra. It does come in silver. It also has the opening on the end. So if you want to use those blast effects that we've received with some other figures, you absolutely can. For your articulation, the cape will get in the way a little bit, but head will go down to there, nearly touching the chest. Again, cape limiting you there. Going back, though, you do get pretty good range backwards, so you get a nice angle looking upward. A little bit of rock in there, plenty of side to side, and all the way around. Arms do work all the way around. You do have that butterfly in there, so that gives you plenty of movement forward and backward. Arms will go up to about there, upper bicep cut, double jointed pinless at the elbow. You don't have anything at the forearm, which is odd because you do get a cut for the glove. You would think there would be a point of articulation there, but alas, there is not. You do have a hinge at the wrist. Moving to the torso, basic ab crunch, hip swivel combination. Legs will kick up to about there. They'll go back to only about there, out to there, upper thigh cut, double jointed pinless at the knee. You do have a boot cut and hinge and swivel at the ankle. For comparison, here he is backed up against our Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Now, this is the retro card, not the Ultimate Rider version, but to the point of the Ultimate Rider and the previous point about the lack of a horse in this situation, why wasn't this in an Ultimate Rider type of wave or a single release? I get it, a little bit more of an obscure character, maybe not the preferred Spirit of Vengeance for everybody, but now we all got to go look for a 1/12 scale horse that's white. I mean, who wants to do all that? You do have this, though. They do look pretty good together. Does give you some display ability. And, of course, he is based on the Vulcan body, but just to give you an idea, here is a range of various sized characters, so you have an idea of how he might fit into your display. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There is your Phantom Rider, your latest Spirit of Vengeance for your Marvel Legends collection. It's a plain figure, but that's just kind of how the design is, so nothing to write home about there. As I said previously, maybe a little shading could have provided some depth, but no harm, no foul, really, as far as I'm concerned. The cape limits you a little bit, not exactly accurate in some areas either, but again, it does lend itself to the overall representation of the figure. Hand choices are good. You do get the revolvers, which are on point. There's no horse. I already went over the Ultimate Rider thing. That, I think, is a big misstep on one hand. On the other, who wanted this? I guess you could ask yourself. We do have it, though. Executioner Build-A-Figure is coming along nicely, so we do have that going for us. This figure, he's okay. He's good. If you want him, go get him. Not really anything you need to rush out for. Folks, that's the 2 cents. I do appreciate you checking out the video. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.